Hello out there, Mama Trip coming at you with video number 3 of my pre-love series. Today we're going to actually look at some of the items that I have purchased, and I'm going to read to you what the company, either the realreal, fashionphile, or rebag, posted as their description of the condition of the item. And then we'll kind of go through the item real quick just to see whether we think that the item was correctly represented, whether it's better or worse condition. And hopefully this will help you to navigate these websites and these descriptions a little bit better. And I hope you find today useful. Okay, so the realreal is going to be first, and we're going to use this guy as the example. So this is my vintage Chanel. If it helps anyone, this was purchased for $825. And this description is good. So their ratings go fair, good, very good, excellent, and then pristine. So this is kind of fourth down the line. So kind of expect this to be in not awesome condition, so less than average. And the only thing they give in terms of details is moderate discoloration at hardware and creasing throughout. So I would say yes to the moderate discoloration at the hardware, so you can kind of see all the kind of black marks and rusting and everything there for the hardware, especially maybe up here. Yeah, you kind of see that in better detail there. Okay, and then creases throughout. So it's got some creasing down here. The corners are in pretty good condition. The bottom is actually fairly good. And got some creasing up here, and it's got some wear kind of up here in this leather. You can see, there you go. Okay, and then yeah, you can see the hardware a little bit more over there too. So I guess I would agree that this is in good condition. I would say that it's not as good as very good. Would I say that maybe this could have been in the fair condition? I don't necessarily think so, because everything about it is intact, and the shape is fairly good, even though it's got, kind of the gravity and her age showing. But I think everything else about it is fairly okay. If you look on the inside, let me get some trash from out there. It still has the little code in there. It still has the correct stamping, made in France. The leather has just, I don't know if you can see all the way in that bottom corner. There we go. Oh, shoot, I can't get the light. Okay, there we go. That bottom corner in there, the leather is worn just a little bit. So maybe could it have been in fair condition? Would that have been an okay representation of this bag? Maybe, but I think that being just good, I don't feel like I was cheated on this bag. Okay, the next one from the realreal, and the only other purchase that I really have left is the the Nightingale satchel. So this one I bought for $700, and this one was listed as very good, with just minor marks and scratches on the outside and pilling on the inside. And I would say that I have to agree with this. I would say that it couldn't be excellent, even though I think that there's not too many issues with this. I mean, the stitching is, I don't see any pop stitches anywhere. And I have used this bag a fair amount since purchasing it too, so there's going to be additional wear and tear, but the corners are in pretty excellent condition. Like, it's not even that smooth there, it's maybe smoother on this side, which is why I think that it can't be excellent condition, because I think that you can tell this bag has been used and loved. So it's got like a pock mark there. It's got some scratches and dents here on the bottom. But I mean, this is the bottom and the corners, and you'd expect the most wear to be here. And it's pretty good, right? Just some smoothing. So just some evidence that this guy has been loved, and loved maybe fairly carefully. Either that or this leather is tough. And so if we go inside, right? So the inside's pretty okay too, right? So it's true, got some pilling, evidence of pilling, but again, it's not too bad. So I think that this was fairly represented. good images of the hardware. So yeah, you can see some scratches here, scratches over there. So yeah, I think this was also a fair representation as very good. Okay, on to fashionphile. Oh, for those of you who would be wondering, so the Chanel that I, in the previous video, said that I had a question of its authenticity and why I don't shop at the RealReal anymore. That one was described as just good condition, because I did say that the corners were fairly worn when I did receive it. And so it said it was moderate scuffing at exterior, surface scratches, hardware, faint wear at interior lining. And when I look at the pictures that they provided, they actually did not provide any pictures of those corners. So when I said that I kind of knew how worn it was going to be, I think that maybe that's just me remembering differently. So I guess I must have purchased it not really knowing about the corners, but purchasing it in good condition, so knowing that it was going to come and it wasn't going to be the best. So it did not actually represent to me that the corners were going to be that worn out. Okay, so for the RealReal, for fashionphile, so this Dior tote was purchased in very good condition, and they're saying corner wear, got some scuffs and frayed stitches, the handles, wear at resin glazing, structure wear, the hardware's got some scratches, and the interior has marks and scuffs. So, you know, that's kind of a lot listed for very good, but I would say overall, if you look, I'm trying to use this box to kind of help me hold it up, but if you look overall, like just from a distance, I mean, it doesn't look too shabby, you know? It's supposed to be soft and squishy. It's not supposed to have too much structure to it. I would say the handles actually have held up pretty well. So it's saying that the handles have surface wear, scuffs, wear at the resin glazing. So it's going to be on the inside here. So let's see if we can see what they're talking about. And I don't... see if we can focus it. There we go. Maybe a little, but it's not too bad. Just like a little bit cracked. You know, nothing compared to what I've seen people show of their Louis Vuitton disasters, for sure. And, you know, just got some dirtiness in there. And then let's see the hardware. So let's see if I can... it's actually not that scratched, you know? Yeah, it's not that scratched. Okay, and then the inside. Let's see if I can pop out the lining. I can't. Oh, it's sewn down. It's sewn down in the bottom. But yeah, the interior is pretty a tough lining, so it doesn't really pill. And I don't really see any marks or scratches. I know it just looks like a big giant black hole. There we go. I don't really see any obvious marks or anything, you know? So my verdict is this was fairly represented as very good, and mainly just because of its age and probably like loss of structure and just kind of general aging things, but you know, no pop stitches, nothing. Yeah, so fairly represented. So I picked that one just because that was the oldest thing that I have purchased from there, and probably some people want to look and know more about my more current purchases. So let's move on to my jumbos, and let's start off with the lambskin jumbo. So it did come with the dust bag again. It came with the Chanel Classics white dust bag, which is something I specifically looked for as a, you know, huge bonus to getting this bag. And this is her again, and it is described as an excellent condition. The exterior just has some corner wear and imprints, and the interior just has some scuffs and imprints. And I would say I wholeheartedly support that statement. So the only place that I can really see anywhere on the exterior is in the corners. And let's see if I can get it to focus on them again so you can see just a little bit of wear over there. Same thing on this corner. Come on. You can focus. There we go. Yeah, just a little bit of wear in that corner there. Same thing on the bottom here. Same thing on the bottom here. But I mean, the leather is intact. The structure is impeccable. You can see a little bit of dents and impressions there. I don't know if I've done that or since I purchased it. But I mean, it's the hardware. They don't even mention hardware in the description here. But there's not really scratches on it. The chain is in pretty excellent condition. The leather is nice. There's no stitching issues. The hardware doesn't have any rusting or discoloration on it. Okay, let's look at the interior. So, oh, maybe this is what they're... So, on all the lambskin products that I have, or anything that has this zipper, I have noticed that it does this denting. You can kind of see here and here where the chain is. So that might be what they're saying, interior imprints. But I think it's unfair to have brought this down to a very good because of those, because that's natural wear and tear for these bags. Okay, and then just by nature of them kind of existing in the world for a certain period of time, it will look that way. Okay, and then that's kind of it though. I don't have any more imprints or scratches. Maybe, I don't know if we can see this. If I turn it this way, you can see how it kind of slopes inward just a little bit from the bottom. So if I just, it kind of slopes in this way instead of going straight up. So it kind of indents just a little bit. And that's probably me keeping it closed too much. Or maybe I've slightly overstuffed it, although I'm only using bubble paper. But yeah, I would say it is a fair and accurate representation of an excellent condition jumbo. Here's the side again, right? So it's a really nice structure. Everything's kept very lovely. Okay, so that one, and for those of you, the exact price that I bought this for was $5,000. I know it's high, but for what the jumbos are priced now, it's pretty good. So, and I'm sure that whoever originally had this bag, because it says it's from the year 2014. So again, this one is almost 10 years old, and she is looking beautiful. But whoever had her before did, I think, make a little bit of money. I mean, they didn't make the money because they didn't sell it to fashionphile for $5,000. But if they had sold it on their own for $5,000, they would have made some money off of it. I hope that they at least made the money that they originally purchased this bag for, because they didn't really use it very much, it looks like, or just used it so carefully. Okay, and the next jumbo, so this one is my single flap. It says it's from 2008. And it came with authenticity card and dust bag, and the condition is very good. So this one maybe is up for debate on whether it's good or very good. So this one is saying that the exterior corner wear, creases, structure wear, painted or dyed. The handle, so I guess I mean the chain, it's got some surface wear, edge wear. Oh, the hardware has scratches and tarnishes, because, I mean, there's no handle versus the chain or hardware. And the interior's got some scuffs and pop stitches and is a little bubbled. Okay, so let's start with the exterior corner wear. So it's got some smoothing, but other than that, the bottom and the corners are actually pretty good. And then the handle, oh, also painted or dyed. I have no idea where it's painted or dyed, and for all I know, it could be these corners, because you can see they're kind of very smooth here. So maybe this part was painted. So maybe they kind of roughed this guy up for a little bit and then had him repaired, and he was painted there. But I can't tell where it was painted other than that. And then the handle and hardware, it's got some surface wear and scratches and tarnishes. So there were some tarnishes in this chain. I did find them. And you can kind of see that the leather's a little old. Let's see if it'll focus here. There we go. You can kind of see that it's still faded. And it's kind of that way throughout the chain too. Okay, let's see if I can find a tarnished portion of this chain, because I swear that there are some. Although I can't seem to find a section of it now. But there is a little bit of tarnishing somewhere, so I did agree, but as you can see how hard I have to look for it, that there's not much. So I don't know if that is a major issue here. Oh, here. I don't even know if you can see this one. There you go. You can see the little black specks as I move it back and forth. Yeah? Okay. So the interior bubbled with popped stitches. Okay. What does that mean? Okay. Here we go. So a little bit of bubbling, right? Kind of this is the warped kind of cardboardy piece that they use for the structure here. There's some bubbling here. And then if you can see the bottom, there's some bubbling down at the bottom. And there's supposed to be some popped stitches. Oh, here. So there's a popped stitch. And the other side is actually intact. And I don't see anything else, right? Just the bubbling and then a bunch of scratches, which are going to be hard for me to show this lighting angle up there. So a bunch of scratches on the inside. Okay, so without any stuffing in her, this is what she looks like. So from the front, not too bad. From the side, actually fairly still keeping her structure, but it's kind of getting pointy up here, not perfectly round. As you can see, pouching out here. So if I turn her this way, you can see it sticks out just a little bit past where it's supposed to stop. Yeah, all in all, what do you guys think? Deserves the very good, or should this have been a good piece instead of very good? I think that for the age, it's fair that this is a very good item. It's not too bad. The interior maybe makes it, should have been more of a good, but this price, it was $4,100, so I don't know. I think this is a fair price for what this is. Okay, and then I thought that I would do one more, and that's my newest purchase, which is this one. And I wanted to do this one because this one is supposed to be excellent. So this one came with some patina of vachetta, some patina on the handle, and the hardware had the protective stickers on it. So first off the bat, none of the hardware came with protective stickers on it. So I don't know what that was about. The second thing is the patina. So if I compare it to my Pochette Matisse, which is, oh gosh, must be 6 or 7 years old now. If you can compare the, I don't know how to do this, the color. So, I mean, it's not as patinaed as that guy. And let's go with my more vintage now croissant. So this one, I mean, nowhere near the patina of that guy. So I would say that the patina is not so bad, if at all noticeable. It looks still pretty light. So I think that there was no stickers on the hardware. The handle is maybe a little bit more patinaed than the strap, but it's about the same. And they're both not bad. So I would say that this is a good representation of excellent. There's supposed to be no wear on the inside, which there wasn't. The only thing that I feel like they missed is that there is an odor to this bag. And usually they do tell you if there's a musty smell or very perfumey smell or more, most importantly, cigarette smell. But this one has more of a musky cologne smell to it. It's not terribly strong in terms of, like, it makes the room smell that way, but because the smell is so distinct and different than all the other smells in my house and in my life, it's very noticeable, and they did not mention that, and they usually do, so I didn't want to put that out there. Okay guys, I didn't want to make this video too long. I tried to represent the range of the different conditions that these companies have. And I know that I have one more in terms of rebag, this guy. The reason I'm not going to go into it is because the company doesn't actually save the page that the item was on, so I can't read you the original description of it, but it was sold to me in great condition, and I would, I guess, agree with that, but I feel like there's some things that they missed, so this is a little bit more pronounced than I would have thought. Kind of this kind of denting in there. And the other thing is when I went to go change the strap length, because I'm a little bit taller, let me see if I can show you. If I undo this, oh, hold on, there we go. So if I undo this, you can see here on the, so you can see where the leather actually peeled off from the previous owner's setting. So it was up here and I moved it to down here, and you can see how the leather kind of took a beating there. And that wasn't represented in the description, but it also cannot be found unless you kind of undo the leather yourself. And so they probably just didn't do that. So that's a consideration too. If you're buying something that's maybe very delicate leather like lambskin, they might not be able to accurately represent everything because they're not going to undo these straps. And this guy has this like rough portion here, and that probably scraped away some of the leather there when the person was using the bag. So that's my only 2 cents from this guy. Other than that, I hope you found this helpful. This was part 3 of my 3-part series on my pre-love journey. Any questions, any other items you wanted me to go through, I'd be happy to show you what the condition is like, what other things that I have found that are different from maybe described. But otherwise, I will see you in the next one. Oh yeah, don't forget to do all the YouTube stuff. Subscribe, give the thumbs up, comment down below, and take care guys.